Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello dear students. I hope you will be fine in this pandemic of COVID-19. As you know that your online semester is already started from 1st June 2020, and for this purpose we have to make voiceover videos for your courses. So starting off with, my name is Engineer Mir Masood Shah. I am lecturer, Department of Technology, Sarhad University of Science and Information Technology, Peshawar. The subject I will teach you is fluid mechanics. This course is for BTech Civil and the credit hour for this course is 2. Coming to the course outlines, here is the details of the course outlines. First of all, we have introduction. In introduction, we will study about fluid mechanics. What is fluid mechanics? Hydrostatics, kinematics, hydrodynamics, hydraulics, solids and fluids, liquids and gases, units and dimensions. In the next topic, we will study about physical properties of fluids. The important physical properties of fluids are specific weight, density, specific gravity, surface tension, capillarity, viscosity and compressibility. These important physical properties we will study one by one. In the next subtopic, we will study about fluid statics. In fluid statics, we will study about pressure intensity and total pressure, pressure specific weight relationship, atmospheric pressure, absolute pressure and gauge pressure. In the next topic, we will study about measurement of pressure, how we will measure the pressure, and for this purpose we will study about different instruments through which we will measure the pressure. In this regard, we will study about piezometer, simple manometer, differential manometer and Bourdon gauge. These are the different instruments through which we will study how to measure the pressure. In the next topic, we will study about forces on immersed bodies. In this topic, we will study about forces on horizontally, vertically and inclined immersed bodies. First of all, we will study about when a body is immersed horizontally, and we will calculate the total force acting on it. Then when the body immersed vertically in the liquids, then we will calculate how much force, total force acting on it. And at the end, we will study when the body is inclinedly immersed in the liquids and the total force acting on it will be calculated. At the end, in this topic, we will study about center of pressure. In the next topic, we will study about forces on floating bodies, in which we will study about buoyancy, center of buoyancy, Archimedes principle, metacenter, metacentric height, equilibrium of floating bodies. These are the different topics in which we will cover in forces on floating bodies. In the next topic, we will study about fluid kinematics, in which we will study about steady and unsteady flow, laminar and turbulent flow, uniform and non-uniform flow, velocity and discharge, and at the end we will study about equation of continuity for incompressible fluids. In the next topic, we will study about hydrodynamics, different forms of energy in a flowing liquid, head, Bernoulli's equation and its application. These are the different topics we will study in hydrodynamics. The next topic, we will study about flow measurement, how the flow is measured, and for this purpose we will study about pitot tube, venturi meter, orifice meter, notches and their types, weirs and their types, and Francis formula. In the next topic, we will study about flow through pipes, losses in pipes, minor and major losses, Darcy-Weisbach equation for major losses of head in pipes, pipes in series and parallels. In the next topic, we will study about uniform flow in open channel, For this purpose we will study about Chazy and Manning's equation, Bazin and Cutter equation, and also we will study about design of rectangular and trapezoidal channels. Here is the list of textbooks or recommended books. Number 1 is N.B. Weber, Fluid Mechanics for Civil Engineers, SI first edition 1991, CRC Press, and also the ISBN number is given. The second recommended books is E. John Finmore and Joseph B. Franzini, Fluid Mechanics with Engineering Applications, 10th edition 2001, McGraw-Hill Education, ISBN number is also given. The third recommended book is R.S. Khurmi, Hydraulics, Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulic Machines, SI 9th edition. These are the list of textbook or recommended reference books. Here is the objectives of the course. The first objective of the course is to provide a broad concept of fluid mechanics. The second objective of the course is to enable students to solve problems relating to pipe flow and open channel flow. Today is the lecture number 1. In lecture number 1 we will study about the introduction of fluid mechanics. So first of all, what is fluid? Fluids are substances which are capable of flowing and adopting the shape of the container. Fluids can be in gas or liquid states. Next one is mechanics. Mechanics is the branch of science that deals with the state of rest or motion of a body under the action of forces. So, and what is fluid mechanics? Fluid mechanics is the branch of mechanics that deals with the response of behavior of fluid either at rest or in motion. When the liquids are in motion or rest condition, and then we will study, and when we study about their behavior, so this is called the fluid mechanics. Next is some branches of fluid mechanics. Number 1 is fluid statics. It is the branch of fluid mechanics which deals with the response behavior of fluid when they are at rest. Next is fluid kinematics. It deals with the study of velocity and acceleration of liquids particle without taking into consideration any forces or energy. Hydrodynamics. It deals with the study of velocity and acceleration of liquid particles taking in consideration the forces and energies. The other branch of fluid mechanics is hydraulics. It is the most important and practical experimental branch of fluid mechanics which deals with the behavior of water either at rest or in motion. When the liquid or water in motion or rest, then the study is called hydraulics. Next topic is states of matter. We have 3 major states of matter, that is solids, liquids and gases. In solids the intermolecular forces are very strong, so they do not change their shape, whereas in liquids the intermolecular forces are relatively weaker than solids. So when we put the liquids in any jar or cylinder or vessel, they adopt the shape of the vessel or that container. The intermolecular forces in gases is very much weaker than liquids, so when we kept them in cylinder, they completely fill the cylinder. Also they adopt the shape of that cylinder. Next is the comparison between liquids and gases. The first is liquids have definite volume at any particular temperature. Means that liquids have proper or specific volume at any particular temperature, while gases do not have any definite volume, means that they completely fill the cylinder or whatever thing in which it is kept, they completely fill it. Second one is liquids have free level surface, whereas gases do not have free level surface. That gases do completely fill the cylinder, while liquids have free surface up to which they fill the cylinder. Number third is molecules of liquids are close to each other, whereas molecules of gases are far apart. Fourth one is liquids have relatively more molecular attraction, whereas gases have less molecular attraction. The intermolecular forces between liquids is higher or stronger than gases. Liquids are slightly compressible, where gases are highly compressible. As the intermolecular forces between the gases is very much less, so they are easily compressible or highly compressible, whereas the intermolecular forces is stronger than gases in case of water, whereas or the intermolecular forces in liquids is stronger than gases, so they are not that much compressible. Sixth is rate of diffusion of liquid is less, or rate of diffusion of liquid is lower, whereas gases have higher rate of diffusion. This means that gases are more volatile than liquids. Next is the comparison between liquids and solids. Number one is liquids adopts the shape of the container, whereas solids do not adopt the shape of the container. This is because solids have strong intermolecular force of attraction, whereas liquid have less molecular attraction. Liquids can flow, solids cannot flow. Molecules of liquids are distinctly apart, whereas molecules of solids are very close to each other, and this is because of their strong intermolecular attraction between the molecules. Fourth one is liquids have relatively less molecular attraction, whereas solids have more molecular attraction or stronger molecular attraction. Fifth one is liquids are slightly compressible, whereas solids are highly incompressible. Sixth one is liquids cannot sustain shear forces, whereas solids can sustain shear forces. As solids have strong intermolecular forces, so they make them hard, so that they can sustain shear forces, whereas the intermolecular forces in liquids is less than solids, so that's why they do not sustain shear forces. The next topic is the fundamental units. The measurement of physical quantities is one of the most important operations in civil engineering. Every quantity is measured in terms of some arbitrary but internationally accepted units called fundamental units. All physical quantities met within this subject are expressed in terms of the following three fundamental quantities, that is length, mass and time. Every physical quantities, for example distance or weight, mass or duration, is measured with some fundamental quantities, in some fundamental units. These units are called fundamental units. Also there are some arbitrary units but internationally accepted. The most important fundamental units in which we will study or discuss in this subject are length, mass and time. The next one is derived units. Some units are expressed in terms of other units which are derived from fundamental units, known as derived units. So the units which are derived from other units are called derived units. For example, the unit of area, as the unit of area is derived from two lengths when two lengths are multiplied, this will give you area, whereas velocity, when a distance is covered in some time, then this will give you the unit of velocity, meter per second, which is also derived from meter, which is also derived from length and time, the fundamental units, whereas acceleration has meter per second square, and pressure has kilonewton per square meter. So these are the different derived units which are derived from the fundamental units. Next is the SI units, which is also known as the International System of Units. The 11th General Conference of Weights and Measures have recommended a unified and systematically constituted system of fundamental and derived units for international use. This system of units is now being used in about 100 countries. Internationally, a system is made for units, and that system is called SI units or International System of Units, and this system is now being used in around 100 countries. In this system of units, the fundamental units are meter, kilogram and second respectively. We already discussed the three fundamental units. Here is for the first fundamental unit, length, the unit is used is meter, while for second fundamental unit, mass, the unit is used in SI system is kilogram, and for third fundamental unit, time, the SI unit used is second respectively. But there is a slight variation in their derived units. The derived units which will be used in this system are given below. Here is the list of the derived units which are derived from the fundamental units. Number 1 is density. Density is derived from kilogram and meter, so it is derived from mass and length. Force, the other derived unit, having unit of Newton, which is equal to kilogram meter per second square. The other derived units, the third derived unit is pressure, which is derived from Newton per square meter or Newton per mm square. The fourth one is dynamic viscosity, having unit of Newton second per square meter. The fifth one is kinematic viscosity, having unit of square meter per second. The sixth one is work done, which have a unit of joule, which is equal to Newton meter. And the seventh one is power, having unit of watt, which is equal to joule per second. So these are the 7 derived units which are used in International System of Units. Now we will define what is meter, or explain what is meter. The international meter may be defined as the shortest distance at 0 degrees centigrade between the two parallel lines engraved upon the polished surface of a platinum iridium bar kept at International Bureau of Weights and Measures at Sèvres near Paris. In International Bureau of Weights and Measures, which is situated at Sèvres near Paris, they have a platinum iridium bar on which have a polished surface on which they have drawn two parallel lines. Between these, the shortest distance between these two parallel lines at 0 degrees centigrade is called a meter. The other one is kilogram. The international kilogram may be defined as the mass of the platinum iridium cylinder, which is also kept at the International Bureau of Weights and Measures at Sèvres near Paris. So kilogram is also defined or may be defined as the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, which is situated at Sèvres near Paris. They have have a platinum iridium cylinder, of which they have a platinum iridium cylinder, and the mass of the platinum iridium cylinder is known as 1 kilogram. The other unit, fundamental unit, is second. Second is defined as the fundamental unit of time. Second is the fundamental unit of time for all the systems, and means that either it is FPS system or FKS system or any system, the fundamental unit of time is second, and 1 second is equal to 1 divided by 24 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60, means 1 divided by 86,400 of the mean solar day. A mean solar day is a division of time equal to 24 hours and representing the average length of the period during which the earth makes one rotation on its axis. So this is the three fundamental units: meter, kilogram and second. Now coming to the next topic, properties of liquids or physical properties of liquids. Ordinarily, there is no difficulty in distinguishing between a liquid from a gas or a liquid from a solid or a gas, as a solid has a definite shape which it retains until some external force is applied to alter it, means that solid have some definite shapes and which they retains. On the contrary, a liquid takes the shape of the vessel into which it is poured. When we pour the liquids in some vessels or jars, they adopt the shape of that vessels or containers or jars. On the other hand, a gas completely fills up the vessel which contains it, while when we put gas in any cylinder or vessel, they completely fills it, because the intermolecular forces between the gases is very weak and they flew here and there and completely fills the vessels. Among the liquids, water will be mostly dealt with in this book, which has the following properties: number 1, density; number 2, specific weight, specific gravity, compressibility and viscosity, etc. These are the different properties, physical properties of water, which we'll study in this subject one by one. First of all, number 1 is density. What is density of water? The density or mass density, it is also known as mass density of a liquid, may be defined as the mass per unit volume at a standard temperature and pressure, and is usually denoted by symbol rho. This is the symbol which is known as rho. Mathematically, density rho is equal to mass divided by volume. Density, as already shown, that it is also known as mass density is equal to mass divided by volume at standard temperature and pressure. It is denoted by symbol rho, and it has a unit of kilogram per cubic meter. The unit of mass is kilogram and the unit of volume is cubic meter. Here is a simple note: the variation in the density of water with the variation of pressure and temperature is so small that for all practical purposes it is neglected. Means the density of water remains the same, or there is a very slight variation with the increase in pressure or temperature or both. So for all practical purposes this variation is neglected, and the density of water is assumed that it is not changed with these two components, that is pressure and temperature. Example 1.1: if 2.5 cubic meter of a certain oil has a mass of 2 tons, find its mass density. Example, in the given example we have data that volume of certain oil which is 2.5 cubic meter has a mass which is given 2 tons. We have to find its density. Solution is, first of all we will write the given data. We have volume which is equal to 2.5 cubic meter and mass which is equal to 2 tons. As we know that mass density of the oil, that is rho, is equal to mass divided by volume. Already we have studied that density is equal to mass divided by volume, as the mass value is given which is 2 ton and also the value of volume is given which is 2.5. So divide 2 divided by 2.5 which is mass divided by volume. This will give you the value of 0.8 ton per cubic meter, which is equal to 800 kilogram per cubic meter. As 1 ton is equal to 1000 kilogram, so multiply 0.8 multiply by 1000, you will get the value of 800 kilogram per cubic meter. And this is the answer of the example 1.1. The next property is specific weight of water. The specific weight of a liquid may be defined as the weight per unit volume at a standard temperature and pressure and is usually denoted by symbol omega. Mathematically, specific weight omega is equal to weight divided by volume. So specific weight, which is also known as weight density or unit weight, is defined as weight divided by volume. When we divide the weight by total volume, we will get the value of specific weight. It is denoted by symbol omega, and mathematically omega is equal to weight divided by volume. Again, we have a small note that the variation in the specific weight of water with the variation of pressure and temperature is also so small that for all practical purposes it is generally neglected. It is also known as weight density. Means with the variation of pressure and temperature, the specific weight of water does not change, or the variation in specific weight is so small so that for all practical purposes this variation is neglected. For the purpose of all calculations relating to hydraulics, fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines, the specific weight of water is taken as 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. This value is used for the purpose of calculations related to hydraulics, fluid mechanics and hydraulic machines, and in this subject this value will be used as the value of specific weight of water at standard temperature and pressure. So you people must remember this value, that the specific weight or unit weight or weight density of water is 9.81 kilonewton per cubic meter. We have example 1.2. In an experiment, the weight of 2.5 cubic meter of a certain liquid was found to be 18.75 kilonewton. Find the specific weight of liquid. Also find its density. We have given the weight of 18.75 of certain liquid, and also we have given the volume, which is 2.5 cubic meter, which are used in an experiment. We have to find first of all specific weight of liquid, and then we have to find its density. In the solution, first of all, we have to write the given data. In the given data, volume is given, so volume is 2.5 cubic meter, already given in example, and we have weight given, which is 18.75 kilonewton, already given in the example. We have to find specific weight of the liquid and also its density. As we know that the specific weight of liquid omega is equal to weight divided by volume. So the value of weight is already given as shown in the given data. Also the value of volume is given as shown in the given data. So putting the values in the formula, omega is equal to weight divided by volume, that is 18.75 divided by 2.5. You will get the value of specific weight or unit weight or weight density. Omega is equal to 7.5 kilonewton per cubic meter, and this is the answer of the specific weight. Next, we have to find the density of the liquid. We also know that mass of the liquid is equal to weight divided by acceleration due to gravity. This equation comes from the equation of weight, which is W is equal to mg. So m is equal to W divided by g, that is weight divided by gravitational acceleration. In this problem, the weight value is already given, as you see in the given data, that is 18.75. Also the value of gravitational acceleration is known, that is 9.81. So divide 18.75 divided by 9.81, you will get the value of mass of the liquid, that is equal to 1.91 ton. Now, as the value of mass is come out, now we will find the density of the liquid. The density of the liquid is equal to mass divided by volume. The value of mass comes out to be 1.91 as already been calculated, and the value of volume is given in the problem, which is 2.5 cubic meter. So divide 1.91 divided by 2.5, you will get the value of density of liquid, which is equal to 0.764 kiloton per cubic meter. Now multiply this value by 1000, as 1 ton is equal to 1000 kilogram. So you will get a value of 764 kilogram per cubic meter, which is the density of the liquid having a specific weight of 7.5 kilonewton per cubic meter, and this is the answer of the density of the liquid. The next property, the next physical properties about which we will study is specific gravity of water. The specific gravity, briefly written as Sp dot Gr dot for liquid, may be defined as the ratio of its specific weight to that of a standard substance at a standard temperature. For liquids, pure water is taken as standard substance at 4 degrees centigrade. Means specific gravity is equal to specific weight divided by specific weight of pure water at 4 degree centigrade. For liquids, pure water is taken as standard substance, and mathematically specific gravity is equal to specific weight of liquid divided by specific weight of pure water, that is omega liquid divided by omega of water. When you divide the specific weight of liquid or unit weight of liquid or weight density by unit weight of water, you will get the value of specific gravity. Specific gravity is a unitless number as it is the ratio between the quantities between the same quantities. The specific weight of liquid is in kilonewton per cubic meter. Also the specific weight of water is in kilonewton per cubic meter, so they will cancel out each other and there will be no unit of specific gravity, so it is a unitless number. Note, the specific gravity of water in the calculation of hydraulics, fluid mechanics and hydraulic machine is taken as unity. Example 1.3. Find the specific gravity of an oil whose specific weight is 7.85 kilonewton per cubic meter. In this example, we have to find the specific gravity of oil whose specific gravity is whose specific weight is given. So this coming to the solution. First of all, we will note the given data. In the given data, we have given the specific weight of oil, which is 7.85 kilonewton per cubic meter, and we have to find the specific gravity of oil. So we know that the specific gravity of oil is equal to specific weight of liquid divided by specific weight of pure water. As the specific weight of liquid is already given, so putting the value from the given data, which is 7.85 kilonewton per cubic meter divided by specific weight of pure water, as already discussed previously that the specific weight of pure water is 9.81, so divide 7.85 by 9.81, you will get the specific gravity of the oil, which is equal to 0.8, and this is the answer of the example. Coming to example 1.4, a vessel of 4 cubic meter volume contains an oil which weighs 30.2 kilonewton. Determine the specific gravity of oil. We have given the weight of certain oil, which is 30.2 kilonewton, and also the volume of the vessel, which is 4 cubic meter, and we have to find the specific gravity of oil. In the solution, first of all, we will write the given data. In the given data, volume is given, so volume is equal to 4 cubic meter. Also the weight is given, which is 30.2 kilonewton, and we have to find the specific weight of the oil. Also we have to find the specific gravity of the oil. So first of all, we will find the specific weight of the oil. Specific weight of the oil is equal to weight divided by volume, as already been studied. The weight is already given, 30.2 kilonewton. Also the volume is given, 4 cubic meter. So 30.2 divided by 4 will give you the specific weight of the oil, which is 7.55 kilonewton per cubic meter. Now using this specific weight, we will find the specific gravity of oil. The specific gravity of oil is equal to specific weight of liquid divided by specific weight of pure water. Specific weight of liquid, as already calculated, is equal to 7.55 divided by specific weight of pure water, which we already we have known that 9, which is equal to 9.81. So 7.55 divided by 9.81 will give you the specific gravity of the oil, which is equal to 0.77, and this is the answer of the specific gravity of the oil. The next physical property which we will study is compressibility of water. The compressibility of a liquid may be defined as the variation in its volume with the variation of pressure. When we increase the pressure, the volume of liquid decreases, and this property is known as compressibility. The variation in the volume of water with the variation of pressure is so small that for all practical purposes it is neglected. When we increase the pressure on the volume on water, the variation or changes in the volume of water is so negligible, so that for all practical purposes it is neglected. Thus, the water is considered to be an incompressible liquid. The next property is viscosity of water. We see that thin liquids such as alcohol or water is much easier than thick fluid liquids such as syrup or heavy oil. Heavy oil or syrup flows slowly, whereas alcohol and water flows quickly or easily. So it is obvious that each liquid possesses some property which control its rate of flow. This property is termed as viscosity and is an essential property of the liquid. So the property by which the liquid controls its flow is known as viscosity. By this property, the liquid controls its flow. When the viscosity is less, the liquid flows easily, and when the viscosity is higher, the liquid flows slowly or not, or this liquids flows slowly or they do not flows easily. So this is the end of the today's lecture.